YouTube, me again. I'm here today to give you guys some tips on buying vintage Halloween. To start off, I have these two blow molds which you have seen in my videos. Excuse me, sorry, they're not working with me right now. Blow molds are very, very common, and you can get them for dirt cheap. I paid $1 and $2 for these two. I bought them in the off season. Like I said before in one of my other videos, buy this stuff on the off season. People will want to get rid of it, and you'll have it for cheap. They never ever reproduce these two, or these blow molds that I know of. I haven't seen any repros of these. But the thing to look for on these types of blow molds is the big E for the Empire Plastic Company or Corporation, and these were made in 1969. How you can tell if these are in good condition if the paint isn't rubbing off and if the orange on these are pretty intact. And as you can tell, the orange on the jack-o'-lantern with the hay is pretty, it looks as if it was brand new. There was no, doesn't look like it was used very much, and it's pretty dark and orange and it's light. However, this jack-o'-lantern, I assume, was used quite a bit because I've seen him darker and he looks like he's been used quite a bit, but no biggie. For those of you that want to know, I did pay $1 for the jack-o'-lantern on the hay, and then for the full-bodied jack-o'-lantern I paid $2 for. Not bad for off-season prices. Alright, now we're going to get to the paper products. These are all die cuts. Die cut meaning they were pressed into paper and you can feel it. These are all, minus the witch, the cat in the moon and the jack-o'-lantern were made by the Bysteel Company. They're marked Bysteel, made in the USA. These two, the cat in the moon and the jack-o'-lantern, were reproduced. I've seen many reproductions of them. The way to tell the difference between the repros and the older ones, which these are the older ones, these are from the 1950s. You feel them, you can feel the pressing into the cardboard, and the darker the orange, and there's not a lot of the glossy reflection on it, as you can tell. Also, the reproductions were made front and back. The older ones were made one-sided. Also, to tell if these were the first ones ever made or the original ones, they have a brown back to them. Sometimes some of the Halloween decorations from back in the day had a white backing, and I have one of those, but I didn't really want to take it off the wall. But I think those ones were made maybe a year or two later, but these ones are probably the ones that were in first production a while ago. The witch really doesn't, I don't know how much or who made her. All it says is marked Made in USA on the side of her. Also, she's a die cut, and you can feel the texture of the witch's face, and you can feel the detail of all the pressing of the paper. Also, she is brown on the back, and also, which I could definitely tell this was old when I saw it. Sorry with the glare. See this price tag right here? GC Murphy Company, 29 cents. Look for original price tags on things, because remember, back in the day there were no barcodes. That was not until like the late 1970s into the 80s. Look for these price tags. This will help tell you if it's old or not. This is the coolest one that I found at that estate sale, which I was so happy I found it because I had seen it before. It is a really detailed cat on the moon's nose, and it's so cool. I mean, there is damage to all these, as you probably could see. The cat's tail is kind of ripped right here. There's some creasing on the top of the moon. But it's all in really good shape. I mean, look at the detail of all the cat's fur and everything, and the eyes and everything. And then there's teeth right here. You can just see like the eye for the moon. It's just all really detailed. The repro stuff that was made in the 1970s to probably the 1980s was just plain printed paper. It wasn't this fine detail of any of the objects that were made into Halloween decorations. I love purchasing vintage Halloween, especially if I can get it for really cheap. I didn't do a haul on these because this was before I did hauls, but I bought these. There was another decoration up by the front of my bedroom. I paid with these and two 50s pink flamingo garden ornaments that I bought when I went to this estate sale. I paid about $2.44 a piece for these, which is a steal if you think about it. It's surprising to me that I think even though vintage Halloween is collectible, this kind of stuff you gotta get for a decent price, like I've said with other things, but if you really like this kind of stuff like I do, pick it up. And again, pick it up on the off season. The people who are trying to sell it want to get rid of it. They don't want to see it anymore, and I keep all this stuff up all year. Don't call me crazy, but I don't care what time of year it is. If it's old, it's gonna be out all year round. Anyway, leave your comments and questions below in the comments section, and if you have any other questions, just let me know. Thanks for watching.